Hi everyone, this is our channel, Around My Story. Please like, share and subscribe.
I tell myself, ignore it. It's getting closer. Just ignore it. But it gets even closer. I tell myself, act natural, like you see nothing. But then it passes right by me. I take a deep breath. There's another one, but it's far away from me. Don't worry, I'm as lost as you are. Excuse me, your order? The cashier asks me. Hurry up, you're holding up the line, says the man behind me. I quickly order a cheeseburger with Coke and take the receipt. That was so tense. See, the thing is, I've been able to see ghosts for a long time. It all started when I was a kid. I was so scared, and I told my parents, but they didn't believe me. I was quite the storyteller back then too. Now let's go back to the restaurant. I get my meal and sit back at my place. I see ghosts, wandering aimlessly. How interesting, right? Wrong. I notice a few girls sitting next to me. I recognize one of them, Jennifer from my class. She is adored by everyone. I find her quite annoying. I think she senses me looking and glances at me. I quickly look away. I prefer being alone over being a clown. It's starting to get dark. As I walk home, I take a few snaps with my camera along the way. Trees, flowers, sky, streets, cars, houses, or anything beautiful that catches my eye. It's like capturing the moment at the right time and from the perfect angle. The street in autumn looks amazing. The mix of red, yellow, and orange is dazzling. It's my favorite time of the year. There are a few people here and there. So are the ghosts. I used to have a hard time figuring out if a certain person is alive or is a ghost. They all just seemed so similar to me. As I'm walking wrapped up in my thoughts, I see a guy standing near a tree a few steps away. He's staring at the leaves. At that moment, he looks picture perfect. He's tall, dark messy hair, and curious eyes. He looks like he's in a trance, deep in thought. The setting sun's light graces him at the right angles. Alas, I couldn't help but want to try to capture this image. He notices someone staring at him, and he looks at me. Embarrassed, I just nervously wave my hand and say sorry. He looks around to see if I was talking to someone else. Feeling awkward, I turn and go on my way, but he's coming towards me now. And then I watch as a woman with a stroller passes by, and he goes right through her. That's when I realized I'd made a huge mistake. He keeps walking toward me, confusion on his face. I ignore him and keep walking. This is what I meant by not being able to tell the difference sometimes. Hey, wait! He yells, but I pay him no attention. This is why I avoid them. As soon as they notice I could see them, they either won't leave me alone or want me to do something for them, which is quite a hassle. Plus, what if some of them try to hurt me? As I keep walking, he runs up in front of me. You can see me, right? He says. I ignore his words and walk right through him. Whenever I make these types of mistakes of revealing myself, I make them think they misunderstood, and then they leave. I know you can see me, he says, and keeps following me. Now he's walking right beside me. I keep ignoring him. Why are you pretending? He asks. He keeps trying to get me to talk all the way to my house. When is he gonna leave? I wonder as I enter my home. I groan internally as he follows me inside too. He smirks. I know you can see me. Ignore me all you want. I am gonna make you talk to me, he says as he follows me to the kitchen. This is getting frustrating. At night, when I try to sleep, it feels so unbearable. He's sitting right in the corner of my room. He still hasn't left. He must have known I can't fall asleep as he starts humming. It's all to annoy me so I would acknowledge him. Resist! Resist it! I keep telling myself. Don't snap! He wants you to do that. Don't do it. I take a deep breath and calm myself. After that, I try my hardest to sleep while he annoys me all night long. I didn't even get a wink of sleep. I pat myself on the back for keeping it all together all night. Looking at the mirror, I look like a zombie. He laughs, much to my irritation. You look terrible. I'm honestly impressed by your patience and endurance, he says. I sigh. I was so nervous for today's presentation I couldn't sleep at all, I say to myself. He simply rolls his eyes. Later, he follows me to school. He noticed how I avoid confrontation with other ghosts. Why do you avoid them? With your ability, you could help them, he says as I take my seat in the class. No way. Like I said, it's such a hassle to do all of that. It's not my job. He then sits on top of my desk, one leg on top of the other. Annoying. So, Elizabeth, I see you have no friends. You're lonely. That's not good. You should learn to make friends. He laughs. I simply take out a book and read. I won't let him get on my nerves. He then leans towards my face. I keep my eyes on the book. He smirks. You're a sad little person. Then gets up and leaves the classroom. I sigh. Before this summer, I had zero experience with dating apps. Tinder wasn't even released until 2 years after my long-term relationship ended. During 7 years of my relationship, I had played around on my friends' apps, but never swiped left or right. Finding myself suddenly single at the beginning of the summer and in desperate need of distraction, I dove headfirst into the pool of online dating. I started with Tinder because my town is too small for anything else, and my cold dead heart wanted casual dates and nothing serious. And that's the whole purpose of Tinder. Tinder met most of my expectations. I went on a handful of dates, met some cool guys, and some not so cool guys. I even hung out with a few truly interesting people, like a radio DJ who runs a wedding business on the side. What I did not expect from Tinder, however, was how most of these interactions started to make me feel good about myself. I mean really good about myself. Like every woman in the world, I have never been happy with my body. At a size 10, I am labeled plus size, and I've worn glasses on and off throughout my whole life. When I'm out with my girlfriends, I am never the girl who is hit on, flirted with, or even picked up. Ever since I hit puberty and became aware of attractive versus unattractive, I've thought of myself as filling the role of the fat friend who just sits back and smiles. Obviously, I've had boyfriends, but they've always been my friends first. So when they said you're gorgeous, what I heard was, I found you gorgeous only after getting to know you. I didn't immediately think you were pretty. I know that having someone attracted to your personality is way more important than thinking you're cute. But I wouldn't hate having just one guy who doesn't know me at all tell me that I'm attractive. Friends, family, and boyfriends, I don't believe. But a total stranger, that person, I might actually listen to. This brings us back to Tinder. One of my first nights using the app, a friend and I sat on my back deck and decided who to swipe left and right on. With each it's a match, we laughed and looked into the guy's profile a bit more. After the third match, I said, these guys are just judging me on my appearance, right? And my friend nodded. So they're only swiping because they think I'm cute? Or are they just swiping on every girl? We concluded that obviously some of the guys were swiping right on every girl, but the chances of every single guy doing that were slim. We swiped some more. When I started matching with guys who were classically good looking, well, I won't lie, that felt really good. A hot guy actually thinks that I'm attractive? What? No. How could that be? Then the messages started. Some guys went right in with, "You're really pretty." Others went in for a conversation first before giving out compliments here and there. I know that this is how people operate on Tinder, but keep in mind that I'm not used to anything. It wasn't until I started meeting with these guys that I wondered, can Tinder actually boost my self esteem? Two guys asked how someone as pretty as me was still single. I went on a date with one guy who told me in Spanish that I was beautiful. Another guy who I'd met up with a few times asked me, "Are you looking for something serious?" I laughed like a loon in response. It wasn't the question that surprised me. It was the fact that I was coming from an incredibly attractive, incredibly fit guy. Because, yes, I'm being shallow and only swiping right on guys who I find physically attractive. When I was done laughing, I said something awkward like, "Oh, maybe? I mean, I'm not against it." My mind, however, was saying,